Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Nanaji C, shamanic leadership guide and transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks understand the trauma-informed basis of their limiting self-beliefs and how to take inspired action to overcome those limiting beliefs right here, right now. Today we're going to talk about the empath's inner eye, why you were spiritually blinded and how to see again. The empath's inner eye. And we're going to borrow from academic citations, trauma-informed neurobiology, and spiritual wisdom, particularly from the Buddhist perspective, from Ramana Maharshi, non-duality, etc., etc., etc. So it's important that I start by telling you this, that you were never blind. You were just seeing too much. So much, in fact, that the narcissist had to distort your sight. And it's important to realize that this is a transmission, not just a lesson. This is for empaths, for seers, and soul leaders who've been abused, gaslit, minimized, yet feel something ancient waking up inside them. And if you've survived narcissistic abuse, spiritual fragmentation, or cultural erasure, this message is encoded in you. Let's awaken your inner eye, not metaphorically, but biologically, spiritually, and cosmically. So let's start with the hijacking of your inner eye. So trauma rewrites your vision. And this is clearly outlined in the work of Bessel van der Kolk, who demonstrated that chronic trauma restructures the brain architecture, especially in the hippocampus, which is your memory section, which is why a lot of people who go through extreme trauma say, I don't remember what happened. It's also in your amygdala, which is the fear center where you decide to fear or flight, and then your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that is responsible for rational thought. And these neural shifts trap the individual you in the past, projecting trauma memory into and onto the present moment. In other words, you literally don't see what's here, you see what hurt you. And to go even further, and I'm a big fan of polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges. Polyvagal theory is rooted in the vagus nerve, which determines neuroception. And neuroception basically means your perception of whether you're safe or threatened. And if your default mode is to fawn or to freeze or to appease, you perceive threat where there is none. And you miss real threats cloaked in charisma. That's why the narcissist was able to get past your defenses. This is why empaths are repeatedly targeted, because trauma makes you misread energy. It's another reason why your inner eye was cloaked. Then when you go to the direct spiritual perspective, Ramana Maharshi said, the great Indian sage, said, the eye cannot see itself. The eye cannot see itself. The seer is never seen. And case in point, no one has ever seen their face. You might see through the camera or a mirror, but it's impossible to see your own face. So when trauma binds you to external roles, such as the rescuer or achiever peacekeeper, you forget that you are the seer. You think you're the wound, but you are the witness. And when you think about it esoterically, particularly in the Kabbalah, the eye is tied to ayin, which is divine nothingness, the womb of potential. And narcissistic systems invent this. They hijack your sight, force you to false light, performance, perfection, and even a persona. And in contemporary terms, things such as social media force us to see ourselves through other people's gaze. There's religious shame that warps the moral compass you have into compliance. And even racial capitalism, or now techno-feudalism, because capitalism is over, distorts reality so you internalize hierarchy as self-worth. The result is the inner eye closes from exhaustion. But let's go even deeper, seeing the narcissist as a spiritual initiator. So you thought the narcissist ruined your life, but they didn't. Because what they were was your shadow shaman, your unwilling initiator. And when you think about narcissism as spellcraft, the narcissists mirror demonic energy, or what's referred to in Buddhism as Mara, or in Islam as Jinn, the tempter that seeks to distract seekers from liberation. The narcissist doesn't want your love, they want your sight. They want your ability to see. And their goal is to insert themselves into your nervous system as your inner judge. You see? And this is why in the Buddha Dharma it says, where there's attachment, there's blindness. The narcissist survives by tethering your clarity to their suffering. And empaths lose sight because they identify with fixing, not witnessing. And when you come into the quantum science element of it, you collapse your potential when you're entangled in toxic timelines. So the narcissist is able to extract from that. And narcissists force you into linear thinking and survival-based reality, which includes constant self-questioning. The result is the I turns into the mirror of the narcissist's needs. Now, it's important you realize that your sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a field sensor. You feel everything because you were meant to transmute, not absorb. You were not weak, you were sacred. And the narcissist or group of narcissists in your lives feared that, which is why they did everything they could to deactivate your inner eye. So how do you reactivate this inner eye? Well, let's talk about it. You certainly want to reach out to me and book a session, and type transform if I can be of help to you in the comment section. But we'll start with some evidence from the Heart Math Institute. The Heart Math Institute, I think they're out in California, confirms that the heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. In other words, the heart contains 40,000 plus neurons, making it a brain of its own. And coherence between the heart, the brain, and the gut leads to clear intuition and expanded awareness. A lot of the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza clarifies this. Though when you come into spiritual physics, particularly looking at scalar fields, this is a Tesla kind of thing, show that energy is non-linear. It's omnidirectional and thought responsive. So it's always available. And the inner eye activates when the pineal gland decalcifies the pineal gland, the vagus nerve unfreezes, and the heart vibrates in presence. So certainly practice of vagal breath, heart-focused meditation will take you there. And what begins to happen, and we can go into more details if you reach out, what begins to happen is you bend time, your intuition becomes sharper, false relationships crumble, and your vision starts to align to your soul contract. So with all this said, how do you live as the I? The I. No contact is a flaw. So it's important that you are in a relationship where you don't just leave narcissists, you evolve beyond the vibrational bandwidth in which they existed. And it's simple. Narcissists, although some people are suspicious of binary kind of scenarios, I'm going to make a binary point here that there's only two emotions, love and hate. Everything's a variation of love or hate. Fear, frustration, all that. Gratitude, joy, love. So coming into new resonance with narcissists, tuning into, particularly when you tune into the love frequency, is how you have energetic clarity, because the narcissist or group of narcissists cannot reach what they can't locate. And it's impossible for the narcissist to locate love, since they themselves live in a permanent place of hate. Then, of course, there's the 4P framework that I love, and I learned, I don't remember who I learned this from, but I applied to my life, which is to have discernment around your peace. Does this amplify my internal silence? People, do these people see my seer, not just my usefulness? Purpose, is this aligned with my soul's curriculum? And profits, does this exchange honor my energy or harvest it? You see, in 2025 and beyond, coaching must be frequency-based, not just goal-oriented. We don't just solve problems, we shift realities. And some may call this quantum leaping, quantum jumping. And with the inner eye, it's about presence, not just words. And as you know, the Hermetics said this best. When you see yourself clearly, the world responds with divine obedience. This is not manifestation. This is sovereign perception, which is the highest magic. So in closing, you are the I. You already know you're not here to heal alone. You are here to see for others. And you are the eye of a storm, and the storm obeys your silence. Come and I see if this reactivated something ancient in you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and connect to future videos, particularly hitting the notification bell so you're notified anytime we put in new videos. Keep soaring, keep ascending, and keep connecting to your I. Peace.